welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 278. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man whose girlfriend calls his penis Subway. Looks 6 inches, but it smells like a foot. It's any bloody Dan.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. How are you? You?
Good.
That's as French as I get.
Yeah.
J'habite Callum? No.
No, that means I live
That's
in,
I live.
think.
Je m'appelle Callum.
Je m'appelle Dan. J'habite Callum's bumhole.
You live in my bumhole. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
It's raining.
Yes, but not men, unfortunately. It's just raining, normal rain. And considering I went out with sunglasses on this morning, Callum, I'm a bit pissed off that I had to come back home piss wet through with an umbrella.
I
British
left
weather.
the house to pick up. I didn't have sunglasses on because it had gone a bit overcast. But I literally got about 12 minutes away from my house and I just like pissing it down. I was like, great. I'm glad I got shorts on. But yeah, it's still warm though, which is typical weather. However, Dan, you know what else is hot at the moment?
Our store.
Our store is, that was an excellent segue, Dan. Well done. You saw where I was going with that. But we have got lots of new designs that are up there, including a brand new range called Quiet Facts, and some other non-PvP related things, such as our new Gambit t-shirt, which is selling off the charts, Dan. I'm sick of getting emails.
Chain.
Yeah, it's redonkulous. But there's loads of things on there, so go and check them out at podcastversusplayer.com/PvP store. And have a look, see if anything tickles your pickle. This week's episode is brought to you by NYXI and their Hyperion Pro Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch. The Hyperion Pro is the best Joy-Con replacement we've tested to date. They look fantastic, they feel better than stock Joy-Cons, and the Hall effect sticks ensure longevity of them will outlast Nintendo's offering, as well as other third-party brands that still suffer with the dreaded drift issues. The super comfortable and ergonomic grip allow for easy long-time gaming. The programmable RGB lights mean you can customize the controller to your particular taste, and the gamer's reflex macro buttons are available to give you an edge. Plus, the GameCube-inspired purple option and the green Legend of Zelda-inspired variant really make the controller stand out. All this, and using promo code PvP, you can get 10% off. Head over to nixigame.com or use the link in the description. However, even hotter than that, Dan, is movie news. And have I got some movie news for you? That's not to say it's good, it's just to say I've got some.
Okay, well, I'm still interested, so go for it.
John Wick 4-star, Donnie Yen, getting his own spin-off movie.
Oh, as, Blind Al.
Yeah, not Blind Al, that's Deadpool.
Yeah, I know, I can't think of his name from John Wick 4, though.
I'll be honest, I'm very annoyed because the summary that I've got here refers to him as there's a second spin-off movie in the works that will feature Donnie Yen reprising his role as the blind assassin.
Oh. So he didn't have a name?
Kane. His name was Kane.
I'm pretty sure it was Kane.
Yeah. There we go.
That's to me, that's an article they started writing that and just went, I can't be asked to Google it. Just the blind assassin. Yeah.
But that's the second one because we was meant to have Ballerina with Ana de Armas, but that's been pushed back to 2025.
Ana de Armas? Who was she? I didn't know she'd been in one of the John Wicks.
She actually, I don't know if she's in it, or if it's just a character based in the world.
If they've just said because there's like I'm
not too sure.
They're either from Budapest or Bulgaria or the Balkans or something like that. The High Witch from The Witches.
Yeah.
Like she's like the leader of like the Russians or whatever that John Wick grew up through. Like they were doing like ballerina stuff there, weren't they? So maybe she's like one of them.
She's played by somebody else in Chapter 3. So the character was previously portrayed by Unity Phelan in John Wick Chapter 3.
John Wick Chapter 3? Isn't that when everyone's trying to kill him?
Yeah. It's the one with Halle Berry.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I only remember Halle Berry being sort of like a team-up partner.
Yeah, but again, it's not Ana de Armas in it though, so they've swapped the actors round.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but that's been pushed back, so now we got this. But I don't know. I assume this is going to take place way before Chapter 4.
When they kind of meet or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I don't even know if Keanu Reeves was in it, but I don't go into anything in case people haven't watched it. I know it's been out a few years now, but we don't want to go too spoiler heavy for it because
sure,
it's a pretty good cliffhanger. But if it takes place after that, then he's going to have to answer questions from 4.
Oh, I see. Yes, you're quite right. Yeah.
And I felt it ended on a good. It was still a kind of a cliffhanger, but it left it in a good place.
Well, I would be happy enough if they just said, "Look, John Wick, that sort of canonical numbered, timeline. That's done at 4 now, and we'll leave it open ended. But we'll go back and we'll do one about Lawrence Fishburne's character. We'll do Willem Dafoe's character, and kind of Keanu Reeves can kind of pop in and out of those as, John in his heyday maybe, or maybe they recast a young John and do some prequel stuff. But then they go, we won't do anything more with like after 4. It just ends there, and we'll leave a question mark. But we can focus on all these other people that have been in it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. That's a good idea. It's Hollywood, so they probably won't do that, and they'll just ruin it.
Yeah, they'll milk it immediately. Of course they will.
I still haven't watched The Continental.
No, neither have I. I saw it. I saw it on Amazon about a week ago, and I was like, "Fuck's sake, I need to get around to that." I was planning on doing it last weekend. Nope.
Yeah, but you watched Clarkson Farm instead.
That's true. And I've got a feeling that that's probably a better call. I probably enjoyed it a lot more, I reckon. Also, speaking of Amazon Prime, the new series of Takeshi's Castle that started in 2023 that's being dubbed over by Tom Daly and Ramesh... No. Tom Davis, sorry, not Tom Daly.
I was going to say, that's an odd...
Yeah, and Ramesh Ragnathan, or whatever his surname is. It's fucking hilarious, mate. Yeah. Like Takeshi's Castle is amazing anyway, but...
I used to love Takeshi's Castle.
Instead of it just being Craig Charles just sort of like bantering on his own, it's 2 comedians bantering with each other, because they have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So it's just them going... What, and now this guy's got his pants off and we don't know why. It's like watching a YouTube commentator sort of show, like watching Takeshi's Castle. It's amazing. Watch it immediately.
Was you one of the people that watched Takeshi's Castle, like when you were younger, like the old ones, that watched it and went, I could do that?
It was... No, because I saw how hard they failed. Like they'd be running across those rocks, and then the rock would give out, and they would just go like ribs first directly into one that wasn't fake. Like, and you're just like, how have you not broken all your ribs? Or they'd be walking across the bridge with them just shooting footballs at them, and they just concentrating on their balance and holding on to this ball, and they just take one straight to the face, go down so hard.
I always said the one where it's like the maze with the doors, and you've got like the people in there. Like kind of like Pac-Man. I always said, just climb on the top and walk along the things.
Well, they did do that.
No, that's what I mean. That happened, and then after that, they put like the slidey things across the top. After somebody did it, but for years, I'll go, just climb on the top. Can't get you then. Well, I mean, they could reach up and grab your legs, but it's the easiest way to get across. And then somebody did it, and it ruined everything. And that's all I had. I was like. No, there's no point in me going on now.
Well, this new season seems to capture the old series very well. It's like a lot of identical games in it. So they haven't like rebranded necessarily. They've just polished it up and just made it look cool. So a lot of the old classic games are in there. There's a lot of stuff that obviously there's no explanation behind. So it's just sort of it's just generals shouting at each other and stuff, and you have no idea who the fuck's saying what about. Like there's some sort of story to it apparently that the commentators just kind of making up as they go along, and like they have particular favourites and like people that they can't stand for no reason other than just some of them are nicer than others.
I didn't even know it was on there.
Oh, it's amazing, mate. It's amazing. It's only 8 episodes. I highly, highly recommend it.
I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, so funny.
I finished the new season of Clark's Farm now, so I've got no reason
Well, I'm
to go on
probably
Amazon.
I'm probably going to start on season 2 of Clark's Farm this weekend, to be fair. So if I'm watching that,
I'll watch
you're watching Takeshi's Castle.
That suits
Believe me, you won't regret it.
Well, speaking of excellent things to watch, Dan, and going back to movie news, got more movie news for you. Netflix have ordered Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2.
Why? Why?
I've literally, for the script for the news, I've put like John Wick 4-star Donnie getting his own spin-off movie, everything, blah blah blah. Netflix orders Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2. That's it. I got nothing else to say on it. I was just
this
what
is
a random
film
thing.
That's definitely part of like the Adam Sandler sort of like classic collection. You know, if you get one of those like DVD box collections, it'd be like Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, Mr. Deeds,
Nicky.
maybe not Little Nicky,
I
but
love Little Nicky.
what's the one with where he's the dad? He's like his
Oh, with the twins from Friends.
No, he's got the little kid.
Yeah. The little blonde kid.
Oh yeah, it is. It's Ben from Friends.
It's Ben from Friends, yeah, which is Jughead from Riverdale.
Right. Okay. Well, whatever that film, like there'd just be like a 5-box selection of like all these sort of like Sandler movies from the 90s.
That's called.
But then why would they go? Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2. Sure, people are banging for it. No, they're not.
Don't get me wrong. I think when you look back, like you can watch Happy Gilmore 2 now, and still kind of enjoy. It's not a good film. But
Happy Gilmore.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, sorry. You can go back and watch Happy Gilmore, and I don't think it's a good film, but you enjoy it because back in the day.
Yeah, it would have been.
You probably
funny.
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that didn't exist and it came out now, no one would watch it.
No, but then I don't understand who would go and watch a Happy Gilmore 2. Like, because presumably it'd still be a golf comedy movie, right?
It's got to be.
So then how many more golf jokes could you possibly do? Unless he's taken 20 years to write a bunch of new golf jokes.
The thing is, though, the whole point of Happy Gilmore was that he was a really good golfer that didn't fit in with the stereotypical golfing.
He wasn't wearing your polo shirts and your shorts and playing professionally. He just twat the ball and he was really good, but he was just a cool idiot.
Yeah,
which is what somehow all of Adam Sandler's characters end up being. They're just dorks who end up, sort of winning records and getting laid and whatever. And it's just like, this is your own fantasy world. It's got to be, right?
I will say that I can't remember what it's called, but I think it is actually called Murder Mystery. But the film he did with Jennifer Aniston on Netflix, that's pretty good. I really like that. I'd watch that.
Is there
again.
a second one of those?
I'd take a second one of them over Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's either been announced or they've already released it or something. I'm sure.
It's not surprising. It was quite well received. Like, it's not groundbreaking by any means, but as far as Adam Sandler movies go,
it's not fucking Pixels.
Definitely
probably
at the top. I've never watched Pixels.
Horse
I know it's
shit.
bad. I know it's real bad, which is why I've never watched it. I've never seen Click either. Is it Click?
I've seen quite a few times. Yeah, with Christopher Walken and he's got a remote control that can fast forward through his life or whatever. It's a bit more sort of thought provoking than just sort of like boobs. Like it's just sort of like you're trying to skip past the bad parts of your life, and if you do that, then you don't understand how you've gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of mishmash of a message that's in there, but it's not bad. I mean, it's fun to see Chris Walken in it. Quite frankly, just being a bit of a silly billy.
I've seen him in anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love Chris Walken.
Yeah.
But better news, Dan. Marvel have released windows for Agatha, Daredevil, and Ironheart.
Okay.
So
are we looking at 2-3 years?
No, we are getting Agatha all along this year in September, 18th of September.
Okay, is that a Disney show?
Yeah. So it's not a follow-up to WandaVision, but part of the same story. We're getting Daredevil Born Again March 2025, no specific date. And then Ironheart will premiere in 2025, but no specific date or month.
Well, isn't Armored Wars supposed to be out this year?
supposed to be, but it's also been a TV show, a movie, and then a TV show again, and then so I don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, because it would make sense if Ironheart got a launch platform from Armored Wars, and then you get an Ironheart show, rather than Ironheart then Armored Wars. Unless you're doing Armored Wars and it's just Rhodey and then
I mean, we've had her in Black Panther.
I know, but I hated that suit.
I did as well, but it's not like it's a random thing. Like, we know the character, we know her backstory, well, why she's doing the stuff. So I can see them doing it before. But I'm pretty sure, aren't we meant to get Captain America and... Oh shit, what's the other film? Oh my good God, Dan. I can't think. It's gone completely blank. Marvel Suicide Squad.
Oh, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Jesus Christ, I could not think of for the life of me. General Ross is in both, isn't he? So
it should be.
I think it's Captain America first, and then Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Is it New Order? Is it?
Yeah. But I think it was last week. People got to see They got to see the first trailer for Captain America, and it was very positively received.
Okay, so, well, we can hopefully expect that this week then, if it was some sort of...
I think Comic-Con's coming up, so I think the public viewing will be then.
I thought you meant it was shown at a Comic-Con. Do you mean
no,
released in-house?
At some event for industry people.
Okay, cool.
So I think we'll get it publicly then, unless it gets leaked, I guess. But no, I'm looking forward to every single one of those shows, Dan. One more than two. But
I mean, I'm not really. I feel like the sort of the Marvel, like, they can't do anything wrong. They've lost that edge, and I'm more sort of like, you've got to, now as it stands now, you've kind of got to do some work to pull me back in, rather than I'll go and see anything you ever fucking make.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like it's lost a lot of that kind of goodwill, to be fair. So Daredevil I want to see, but do I think it's going to be as good as the Netflix Daredevil? Probably not.
I think it'd be as good. I think it'd be. I don't think it can. It might be better. I don't know. We can't.
I doubt it.
But what I want them to do, like, this will be. People have different opinions on this. For me personally, the best TV show Disney have done with the Marvel thing is X-Men 97.
It's low-key.
Fuck it. No, I prefer X-Men 97 to every single Marvel Disney show that's come out.
Wow.
100%. I fucking love it. I love everything about it. And it's not to say it is the best. Just A, I love X-Men, and B, it's good to see a modern take on the franchise when we've only had the Fox stuff prior to that, other than obviously the original animated cartoon. But you can tell how much love has gone into making this. Not reassuring that the runner for it has been sacked. So I'm a bit apprehensive for the next few seasons, but obviously we'll see where that goes. But I think if Daredevil can encapsulate the Netflix feel, but delve more into like the comic roots that the Netflix show didn't, then I think it could be better. But I've got a feeling they're going to try and make it as good without making it as dark. And I don't think it'll work.
And that's the thing. Like, that was one of its biggest selling points, was the fact that it was people, really awfully beating the shit out of each other.
I mean, literally, like within minutes of meeting Fisk, he slams a guy's head into with a car door.
And I mean, we saw sort of shades of it in Echo, but if they're going, oh, this is like it's like Daredevil, but it's a new Daredevil. If that's your take on it,
nah, it doesn't help. The first time we saw this Daredevil was in She-Hulk.
In the daytime.
In the day.
Oh, no, no,
no, not the
park,
first time. Yeah, we saw they have their fight to start with, and then it's after they've hooked up and he's doing the walk of shame. But I don't think that's the best time to show off a new brightly coloured costume as opposed to the crimson red. But then that's
your point, though, isn't it? It's just that they're not trying to just go. It's just he's like Batman, really. They're like, no, he's got a silly red and yellow outfit, so he's going to zip around the city, and sure, we'll put him in the daytime, and he can do the walk of shame, and he can, shag a She-Hulk.
He can shag a She-Hulk. I think that was the episode name, wasn't it?
But they're going. We'll just do it a bit more silly, a bit more, true to form, rather than just, he's beating criminals to a fucking pulp, and he's having morality conversations with Punisher about how they're all trying to do the same thing, but in a different way, and blah blah blah. I think it would just be sort of like he's going to just do some killer lawyer montages, and he's going to do some cool backflips. Unless they, I just don't think that they can match it. I just don't think they can get the vibe as to where that kind of characters come from, because that's all people are going to see. They're going to see Charlie Cox as Murdoch from Netflix, not a new take on it. Like, you'd have to throw in She-Hulk, you'd have to throw in Echo, you'd have to throw in Spider-Man, and just be like if Tom Holland fucking turned up and they did a bit of just sort of bloody spark, I'd cream my pants.
Yeah. That's the problem we've got now, though, because out of the show, I mean, not including Loki, obviously, and Scarlet Witch, but Matt Murdock has already been in an MCU movie. He's already met Spider-Man. He already knows of the event. Like, I know we haven't seen him meet them, but he knows there's an Iron Man. He knows there's a Captain America. He knows there's a Hulk and everything else. I think it'd be silly if they don't get someone in, even if it's just a 30-second cameo, just to show that it's still connected to that big wider universe that the Netflix shows never was.
Yeah,
and
it would make sense if it's Sam.
Sam's the easiest one because he's already got a show, and
there's that, and he could be like, well, do you know what? You kind of built this rep from the ground up, and you just, as far as I'm aware, anyway, you're just a guy.
Yeah.
So am I. You've got a sweet suit. So have I. And you're doing what's right. I could do with some backup, or keeping an ear to the street or whatever, just to see what's going on out there.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Like someone like Thor showing up and Daredevil, please, I need
just
your help.
Just the man we need.
Unreal. Obviously not. He can't deal with any of those people.
Blind man. I have a parking ticket that he's taking care of.
To be fair, he could probably smack him with his own hammer, though.
Yeah, that's true. I think the best thing about having Sam as the new Captain America, though, is if they do it, they need to bring him down. So he's got to be street level now, because he's not Captain America. He's not Steve Rogers Captain America.
Yeah. He's not a super soldier.
No. And whereas Captain America can go head to head against Thanos, he can't.
I mean, he didn't. They blipped him out for a reason. Be like, what are you going to
do? But I mean, we see that in even in his own show, he gets his fucking wings snapped and everything else, because that's all he's got. But from choice, he chooses to do it and everything else. But they're going to have to bring it down to a more street level situation. In which case, like you say, Daredevil, it's perfect. I think it could work. Whether they will is a different story. But do you think, if after whatever the reaction is to Born Again, do you think for season 2, if one wasn't dark enough, do you think they would lean into it more because of people going, it was good, but it wasn't dark enough?
Yeah. I think that with things like Invincible, with things like The Boys, which are these sort of like nitty gritty, this is what superheroes can really get up to. If you don't want it to be like, cosmic Doctor Strange, fighting in multiple dimensions or whatever. If you don't want to make it like some huge arcing thing and it needs to be on the street, then it needs to be Deadpool-ish. It needs to be, it needs to have that kind of punch behind it.
Yeah. Because
otherwise it's someone having a bit of a slap fight in an alley and then 20 minutes of courtroom drama. No one's going to be into that. No one. So you need something.
They did it well in because I watched the Netflix show again after Echo, and it's still good. It's still very good. But again, they got a good balance between. I still think there was the last couple of seasons had too much Karen and Foggy for my liking, but there was a good balance of Daredevil in, lawyer in, relationship in, friendship in, playing pool,
Electro.
Yeah, like everything was done very, very well, with a few minor annoyances throughout, but for the most part, excellent, really, really good. The best of all the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I liked Punisher and I liked Jessica Jones, but if you're going to put them in an order, Daredevil's always the top one for me out of all of them. He was even good in The Defenders, and nobody was good in that. I still can't forgive them for, as much as I love Daredevil, like, he embarrasses the fuck out of Iron Fist. It's
a testament to how badly that's written that he stood a chance against him.
Well, that's even after he's met Luke Cage and he like twats him in the head and he does the slow-mo things like, and he's like, Jesus Christ, you're strong. And then a few scenes later gets battered by Matt Murdock.
But like, you think of it, if he went up against Shang-Chi, like, you'd be like, okay, I love you, Daredevil, but nah, mate, you ain't winning that fight.
He'd put, like, I think, in terms of like, take the rings out, and it's just them
fighting.
Yeah. I think Shang-Chi would still win, but it would be a long, drawn out fight. But
this is one guy who's trained by another blind guy with a stick, and then another guy who's trained by an immortal warlord who's learnt and taught and developed martial arts for 1,000 years or whatever. I'm still putting my money on him, quite frankly, definitely. Even without the magic rings.
But there's a lot of cool comics with, like, when Fisk's trying to out Matt Murdock as Daredevil, and they are up in court, and Iron Fist puts the suit on and goes fighting crime and stuff like that. And I'd like to see more of that kind of, not necessarily with Iron Fist, but if in this Daredevil show somebody's going, oh, Matt Murdock this, Matt Murdock that, and then Tom Holland Spider-Man just like, give me a suit, I'll put it on and go fight some crime, and just swap it around, something like that. Even anyone, I guess, really, just tie it in. But it will be a shame if they get another crack at it and nothing happens from it. Obviously, we knew what not the stakes. That's basically really dramatic. But we knew that there was only a sliver of a chance that it would bleed over from Netflix into the MCU, and I feel they've got to do something with it, even if it's just a case of we get to see. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Punisher.
John Bernthal.
Yeah.
John Bernthal.
If we get to see him crossing over into,
I think he'd do it in a heartbeat. I don't think he's that big of a megastar. Like, I mean, he's done movies and stuff like that. Like, he's still very. I really like him quite. He seems like a really good dude as well.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
But I don't think he's at such a height now where you'd be like, we'll never be able to get him back. No, I think he'd be into it. I think he'd drop whatever he's doing. But I'd like to see him translate over to, again, maybe Sam's Captain America has to go after the Punisher, and then from that he meets General Ross, and then he gets enlisted into Thunderbolts. Yeah, that would make sense.
And we actually get like someone that's meant to be there, not not the rejects from the other things.
Yeah, like, where's your Ghost Rider, for fuck's sake?
God, I'm still annoyed that
where's Blade?
There's 3 Captain America characters in there.
Yeah,
and it's not literally Captain America, but you got Red Guardian, Bucky, and
US Agent.
Oh yeah, US Agent. Like, they're all just hand-to-hand people. Like,
they're all very strong. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah. I mean, they batter us, but like, when
you're doing your Overwatch team up, you don't have 3 people of the same class, do you?
It's I don't know what it is with it, but there's a lot of potential, but there's also a lot of potential that it could go wrong. Not wrong, not be as good.
I think that I honestly I don't have enough faith in how they're currently developing and making and producing these things that I'm not going to be like, oh my god, this is the one to bring me back.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it because I like Charlie Cox and I like Charlie Cox as that character. And seeing what they do with it now would be interesting. But I'm not ready and absolutely, oh my god, I've got to watch this day one. I probably will do, but I'll be like, maybe 2 in, I'll be like, I can kind of get a vibe for this already, and I don't think I'm going to be committing all of my time.
I'll see them through, as I've done with all of the other ones.
But I think if you've got Deadpool that you're kind of bringing into the MCU now as this sort of like chaotic character that's a murderer and whatever, and Wolverine, although presumably they're going to kill him off in Deadpool and Wolverine, because like Hugh Jackman's going to be like, I'm not doing it again.
Getting too old.
I'm not doing it again. Just recast me, for the love of God, please. But if you've got someone there that are just sort of like, everybody in the MCU's killed people. Pretty much all of them have killed people. But Deadpool is very good at killing people. Yeah. And he's not shying away from killing people. But I think that if you wanted to step that up, and you get, right, we need something that's real gritty, then that's when you get the Punisher in, and he would just be, he'd be beating someone to death with his bare hands rather than just putting a bullet in him. Yeah. And then if you get Deadpool going, Jesus, calm down a bit. It's like, there's no need for that, is there? That would be like, okay, well then if he thinks that he's way too hardcore for this, then people would be like, oh my god, get Blade and the Punisher together, just like carving the fuck out of vampires.
Well, that's what they need
Can you imagine that? Just give him a machine gun full of silver bullets and just ploughing through vampires. That'd be incredible.
But that doesn't seem like massively out of play. Like, they've got the Star platform for like the 18 rated stuff, or R-rated in America. So it doesn't even have to... like, if you was to go on Disney Plus, and the little box is there for Punisher and the Punisher and Blade team-up show, and you click it, and it'll open it on Stars. But obviously, if your account isn't age, what's it for Stars, it won't play it. And just do stuff like that, and use the platform you've already got that's already built into the Disney Plus app to just push the boundaries a little bit with these more R-rated characters. Because I don't want to watch, like, it was an okay show, but like, remember Constantine? Yeah. Like, it was too CWE campy for the character. It's like, if it's this, there's no point in doing it. And that's exactly the same with what it would be with the Punisher and
like a network TV version. Like, he's got a giant stun gun, and like it's a bit like new RoboCop, where he's taking down bad guys. He's just stunning everyone with his stun taser gun, and it's just like, you're missing the point of why this worked. It's not because it was violent, but that was a part of it. That was acceptable. It's like, hooray! He shot that guy's leg off. Yeah. Incredible. You're missing an element of that. So, either don't do it, and I'd be okay with that, or if you do it fucking properly.
Yeah. It hasn't got to be, I'd prefer it to be, but it hasn't got to be perfect. There can be flaws to it and changes that we might not necessarily agree with. But as long as the overall show and the tone, or the movie, as long as the tone and everything else is good, most people will be happy with that. Yeah. And you could probably get away with a slightly less darker Daredevil show, depending on how well they execute everything else, but not the Punisher. Because if it comes out and then he's like, oh shit, it's the Punisher, and he's just got Nerf guns. He's like,
or he's constantly like punching people and throwing them through windows and stuff. It's like, no, listen to his name. He's not the murderer. He's not the shooter. He's the Punisher. Yeah. Like, he's Ghost Ridering, but without devil magic or whatever. He's making people feel the pain that they've inflicted on others. Yeah. Usually by like setting them on fire or filling them full of concrete or smashing their face through a million piranha tanks and ripping their dick off. Like, that's why he works as such an outsider to everything else, because he's not like spangly and whatever. He's an absolute fucking psychopath.
But that was also the problem with the Netflix show, though. Like, there wasn't enough punishing.
There was a lot of murdering again, which is great, and it was like the only one he really kind of punished was Billy, Jigsaw, because he went out of his way to tear him the fuck up. But again, for a very good reason. But it showed him being very competent. But again, I agree, there wasn't a huge amount of him just sort of like, I'm going to hang you from your fucking feet and cut you up. Because I know what it'd be. People would go, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without going, That's the point, mate. That's the point. You're not supposed to be like, oh, this guy's so cool. You're supposed to be like, oh god, oh no, this is what he thinks is okay. Like, that's why you have someone like Daredevil going, mate, you need to calm the fuck down. Like, you can't keep doing this. This is not okay.
Because when, in retrospect, the stuff that Daredevil's going, like telling him, like, there's other ways of doing it. You've killed loads of fucking people. Because there's no difference between them in that instance where, like, the majority of the people Frank kills in the show, there's a shoot-off going on. I mean, there's certain points. I mean, like with the sledgehammer on the building site and stuff, that's a bit different, like, say, Jigsaw and that. But for the most part, it's people that were trying to kill Frank anyway. And the same with Daredevil, like, he's fighting people and they fall off the roof or he snaps the neck or whatever. And even though there's more remorse in Daredevil in, like, trying to do the right thing than there is with Frank, in the realms of that TV show, they're not that different. Which is, I know it's pointed out a lot, and it's like, you're only one bad day away from becoming me or whatever, but it's based on no punishing. It's just based on shooting bad guys.
Well, no, that's like at the start of season 2 of Daredevil, when they're like, before they actually introduce him. Yeah, with like the Irish, and it's like, there's a bar that's been shot up and everyone's been beaten to death. There's people hung from meat hooks and stuff like that. That seemed more sort of on point of just sort of like, oh yeah.
I mean, you see the Irish getting killed, but you don't see Frank doing it.
No, it's just him shooting through a window, really, isn't it? But it's there could be a lot more to it, but I think that they were still holding back a little bit. Yeah,
I think they played it as safe. They did as much as they could while staying safe within the. Because I know you haven't got the same network restrictions as you would if it was airing on the BBC or something like that.
But this was still, 7 or 8 years ago. Like, it wasn't, something like The Boys, which I don't want to keep on using as like a threshold of like, oh my god, it's the most violent thing ever. But it is. It's people getting exploded. It's people getting tortured. It's people getting burnt, and sick fantasies being lived out. And Amazon have gone, fuck it, if you do it. A guy gets exploded in half through his dick, like,
with another tiny man inside.
You couldn't do that. On the Netflix, on a Netflix, you couldn't do that. They've set a lot of groundwork.
But that's the beauty of The Boys, though, where they've gone all of the fan theories for Endgame, like Ant-Man will go in Thanos' arse.
Oh yeah, they've just gone, fuck it, we'll do it.
And then they're going, well, we could do that, but let's not use the arse. Let's just use the dick, and then we can have a big fucking set piece for it and stuff. And it worked. It's one of the first scenes you see on the second season, and just like
third, I think.
Is it the third?
I think so.
No. Either way, it's one of the towards the opening of the episode, and he's like, yeah, this is only going to get fucking weirder. For the best. Like, again, if this had come out and they'd done what Netflix did with The Punisher, it wouldn't fit. Because this is what the comic's way worse than the show. Like, the show is tame compared to the comics, but this is as close as you're going to get to that kind of run. And I feel there's still a big amount of things they can do with Frank Castle in the medium. Not in a movie. I think he is better suited to a TV show, preferably as a supporting character, because they were lucky with the first 2 seasons on the Netflix ones. Again, not perfect, but they were good. But I think he's like Thor. It's much better as a kind of like a backup character and stuff like that. But never know. These might be great, Dan. We're saying this, and these might be the best shows they've ever made.
I disagree. I definitely will be.
Well, they might be, and that's the optimism I like, Dan.
Okay.
But on that, I got nothing else. I don't know if you got anything.
No, actually, no. I don't think so. No.
Well, I'm just going to remind everyone to go to podcastversusplay.com. It's all going along the bottom of the screen. But check out the store. Check out the other stuff that we've done, including more podcasts, spoilercasts, let's plays, loads and loads of other things. We've got some new reviews coming up, so they will be up in the not too distant future, including this Huawei Watch Fit 3 that arrived today. So
woohoo!
that'll do a week of testing with this and then get a review up. And then some other bits and bobs. Dan,
Yes.
thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.